The 49ers, they go and get a win at Candlestick South on Sunday. That's what I call SoFi Stadium. That's Candlestick South. They will be picked to beat the Rams, even after the Rams had a very impressive performance. I think the line is already at 5.5. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it's more. I think they're a touchdown favorite now.
Probably moved more after that performance yesterday. Look, the New York Giants are a lot better than they showed last night, but they just lost 40-0 to 40-0. So that should be a little bit of an easier turnaround on a short week for a Thursday nighter in the Niners home opener at Levi's than you might have thought before we saw it last night. And then look, after that, it's the Cardinals. And the Cardinals are built to stink this year. Larry, that's a 4-0 start. There's a 4.
Well, I mean, okay,
here's why that would be significant. Hold on, I'm just going to share this with you, and then you can counterpoint, because there is a counterpoint to be made. Nothing is assumed or guaranteed in football. It's why the league is so great. But there is a clear path to a 4-0 start, and historically, since 1990, teams that start 4-0 go to the postseason 84% of the time. So that's just a really nice early season box to have ticked off for a year for the 49ers, which, let's be totally honest about what we're looking at. Even though the season started yesterday, the 49ers season officially begins in the NFC title game this year. That's the level of expectation attached to this team. So the season starts in the NFC title game, and you better damn well put yourself in the Super Bowl after you win that. And then there is no guaranteed Super Bowl win, but you got to get in there and fight for it. And that's the goal. Go win the Super Bowl. Get a chance to fight for the Super Bowl this year. And a 4-0 start almost puts them in the barn before we even reach the bye week. So it's just, of course, football happens, injuries happen, everything can change in 13 more games after a 4-0 start, but the path is there and it's clear now.
Well, they play Philly December 3rd, and I think there's a very good chance they could go into that game with either being undefeated or being a 1 or 2 loss football team. And that's, as I said, that's December. That's first week in December.
That's what you're looking for.
But the thing about this next week game against the Rams are not a good team, but the Rams are not a good team because their cap has screwed up and now they're not very deep, but it's early in the year. And now you're playing a game early in the year in their stadium. It's going to be a tough game next week. This Rams team, if you got them, you wanted them late in the year, and the Niners got them early in the year. Just a couple things that stood out from their game yesterday against Seattle. Tutu Atwell might be the fastest receiver in the game. He's tiny, but he's blazing fast. And so he's a player. Puka Nacua is the rookie from BYU. And obviously they have no Cooper Kupp right now. But Nacua was a very productive player, and there were people in the draft. The Niners looked at him very seriously in the draft. He's a 6'2", 205-pound wide receiver with just crazy ball skills. So you've got those two guys outside. Atwell's the deep threat. Nacua had 15 targets yesterday. They targeted him 15 times, and that's got to be among the most in the entire league. The other thing the Rams have is the Rams got 7 hits on the quarterback. So they were in the backfield. And their rookie edge guy, Byron Young, who played at Tennessee, is a real player. He had a half a sack. He had 2 hits on the quarterback. He had 4 tackles. 3 of them were solo. So, and then the Notre Dame running back, Kyron Williams, is not bad either.
2 touchdowns.
I don't think he's great. Don't get me wrong. But he's not bad. So, I mean, they're not going to be able to just roll their jocks out there and beat the Rams. They're going to have to play, take care of the football and, be smart about things. But, yeah, if you look at the schedule, okay, so they go Rams, then they go New York Giants, and that's the home opener on a Thursday night. The Thursday night games always favor the home team. Niners are home. Then they get Arizona in a rebuilding year. Then they get Dallas in October at home. That's going to be a tough game, primetime game, Sunday Night Football, nation watching. Then they go road at Cleveland and road at Minnesota. Both those teams, Cleveland got a nice win yesterday. Minnesota didn't look very good. Then they have Cincinnati, but Cincinnati's got a major rest advantage in week 8. So that on paper is probably going to be tougher than you think. Then they get the bye week. Then they get at Jacksonville, home against Tampa, at Seattle, and then December 3rd at the Link against the Eagles. I think there's a very good chance the Niners are 9-2 or 10-1 going into that game.
Well, and look, they will have a home field advantage at SoFi Stadium. They've had one in every game that they've played down there, including the NFC title game. It's going to be blanketed in red jerseys. The 49ers fans take that place over. But McVay, let me tell you, a year after everyone downgrading McVay, the guy can coach. I mean, straight up, he really can. He ran 32 more plays than Pete Carroll did yesterday. He had the ball for nearly twice as long. And Seattle just folded against a defense that is basically Aaron Donald and company. Aaron Donald and company played pretty well yesterday. On paper, the Rams defense isn't supposed to do what it did up in Seattle. So maybe there is a little something more there to be taken seriously than anyone thought. A healthy Matthew Stafford is a dangerous Matthew Stafford. I don't care if his wife says this team doesn't fit or not. It fit yesterday. And Sean McVay knows how to coach him up. Like you said, Puka Nacua, Tutu Atwell, these are not household names, and they had big games yesterday. So
they had 2-1 time of possession. Rams held the ball for 40 minutes.
Right.
40 minutes. That's hard to do in an NFL game.
Be a grounded out, ground and pound.
And they didn't. They threw for 344. But how about this? Seattle had 95 yards passing all day. And you know what? Nobody said anything about this because it's like, hey, Seattle. Seattle. There were so many people. Louis Riddick stumbling over himself like 19 different ways to pick Seattle throughout the year. And by the way, Bobby Wagner in his return to Seattle against his former Rams team, because he played for them last, 19 tackles yesterday for Bobby Wagner.
You got to respect Bobby Wagner.
Bobby Wagner, 19 tackles. Him and Jordan Brooks combined for over 30 tackles. So, I mean, those two guys, but Seattle's still not very good against the run. The Rams just don't have a powerful run game. The Rams only average 2.3 a carry, but Seattle's not great against the run, and they didn't have Witherspoon, the rookie first-round pick. I didn't expect Stafford with no Cooper Kupp to light them up, but sure enough, he did. So I'll tell you this. I know a lot of people's takeaway from that game, Damon, is, man, the Rams. But to me, that was like, I think it was really a great game because it showed that Rams are, they surprised people. Atwell and Nacua will not surprise the Niners next week. And yet Seattle, Geno didn't look all that great. Seattle, Seattle may not be, Seattle's run D is maybe not a whole lot better, and their pass D is supposed to be a lot better. Maybe it's not. So we'll see. We'll see. I didn't go, oh no, Rams. I went, oh good, Seattle's not as good as we think.
Right. No, I kind of walked away saying the same thing. But, Sean McVay finds a couple players, and things can happen in a football game that he's coaching.
He's a good coach. Especially early.
Really good. Yeah. Luckily, Kyle Shanahan's got it over him in the regular season.
Seriously, Kyle's got ownage on McVay. McVay's got the ring that Kyle seeks, but Kyle's got the ownage head-to-head.